Discrimination with Dalits in the economic field. There is a considerable shrinkage in the area of reservation because of government indiscriminate policy, liberalization and privatization. Whenever there is a talk of extending reservation to private sector, the corporate representatives, private sector leaders vehemently oppose it, argued that only merit and efficiency matter in corporate world. There is no place for caste in the industry. Let us examine how much truth in the claims of corporate world. In 2007, a paper published by S. Madheswaran and Paul et al., Caste Discrimination in the Indian Labour Market, Evidences from National Sample Survey. This paper uses National Sample Survey data to examine the wage gap between higher caste and the scheduled caste tribe in the regular salaried urban labour market. The main conclusions of this report are: A. Discrimination caused by 15% lower wages for SC/ST as compared to equally qualified others. B. SC/ST workers are discriminated against both in public and private sectors, but the discrimination effect is much larger in the private sector. Discrimination accounts for a large part of the gross earning differences between the two social groups in the regular salaried urban labour market. With occupational discrimination, unequal access to job being considered more important than wage discrimination, unequal pay in the same job and the endowment differences is larger than the discrimination component. Atwell and Catherine S. Newman had carried out some studies collaboratively undertaken by Princeton University and Indian Institute of Dalit Studies. The aims and objectives of these studies are to understand precisely how caste affect individuals' economic lives, how the economy interact with caste values and attitudes, and what behavior produces persistent inequality and deprivation for groups based on their caste, ethnicity or religion. First study is a field experiment based on employer-employee correspondence. Second, a study focusing on employer attitude toward caste, and prospective cohort study of lower caste university graduates in elite institutions. The first study, which was conducted by Paul Atwell and Sukhdev Thorat, using statistical analysis, they assess the data and find that discriminatory processes operates even at the first stage of the applicant processes. The field experiment focused on the correspondence between job applicants and prospective employers in the modern private sector, including both Indian and multinational corporations. Only first stage discrimination taken into account whether or not applicant received an interview invitation. Researchers submitted multiple set of fabricated resume by mail in response to job advertisement and aim at recent university graduates. All fictitious candidates shared strong credential and differed only in names which were recognizably affiliated by caste and religion. Three groups of candidates were set up: those with name associated with high caste, those with typically Dalit names, and those with typically Muslim names. An analysis of outcome using regression method showed that for every 10 upper caste Hindus selected for interview, only 6 Dalits and 3 Muslims were chosen. Name of the second study is In the Name of Globalization, Meritocracy, Productivity and the Hidden Language of Caste by Surinder Zhodka and Catherine Newman. This study focused on employers' attitude toward caste. In this study, researchers tried to find out employers' perspective while hiring. What are the things taken into consideration? The researchers spoke to 25 HRD managers from the companies who offered jobs to 1.9 million full-time workers and 63,000 contract workers. All the managers said that merit is the only criteria while offering the jobs, but certain personal traits like cosmopolitan attitude, family background are also considered. The study reveals that while offering the job, managers give undue importance to certain stereotypes. In spite of higher educational qualification of the candidates, they lay more emphasis on family background, international exposure, worldliness, sophistication, due to which there is a more possibility of Dalit candidates getting overlooked in spite of higher educational qualification. The study further finds that in spite of claims of merit and capability as the criteria, The employers were very conscious of caste identities of applicants. Third study is the role of caste in post-university employment expectation by Ashwini Deshpande and Catherine Newman. This study focused on group of students from the same educational qualification but with different personal background and caste background, and studied role of caste in their post-university employment expectation. Findings of the study says that lower caste students were expecting low monthly salary, they had low expectation on job opportunities. Most of the Dalit students did not apply for jobs in private sector as they were expecting discrimination wall there. Most of the Dalit students have not sent application in private sector because they were expecting wall of discrimination. Newman said Dalit students also tended to have much smaller network of family and friends to whom they could turn for help in finding a job. All this study reveals that the discrimination in employment in higher reaches in India. Newman says we have not yet touched rural areas, but the statistics affect larger population. In 2009 study in Chennai shows that possibility of being called to Dalit women for job interview in response to job application is least as compared to women and men job applicants belonging to other caste with equal qualification. A paper in 2010 submitted by Surendra Zhodka reveals the difficulties faced by Dalit starting a new business. His private network falls short in helping him in getting land or rent or seeking credit or engaging with dealers. The support system of private network is missing in case of Dalit entrepreneur. Caste discrimination in humanitarian aid. In India, caste discrimination is an unending story. Common perception is that suffering caused by natural disaster is same for all affected people. Natural disaster is painful for every affected person. But for socially and economically backward and marginalized communities, which consist of mostly Dalits and Adivasis, the effect of this suffering is much more. Even under normal circumstances, Dalits and Adivasis lack the strength to fight for their rights and against injustice. In times of natural calamities, they are further weakened. Unlike others, they lack communication facilities, means of social networking, or mode of collective representation. We generally assume that relief and rescue measures are implemented without any discrimination. Humanitarian aid workers are neutral and relief reaches everybody equally. In last 20 years, all the natural disasters which India witnessed, the experience and studies on these calamities reveal that there was discrimination in providing relief to Dalit Adivasis. According to the separate investigation report under title Equality in Aid addressing caste discrimination in humanitarian response by National Campaign on Dalit Human Rights and Human Rights Watch. This study relates to natural disaster in South Asia and tsunami in India and Pakistan. This report documented many instances of humanitarian aid distribution in India, and according to the report, during 2001 earthquake in Gujarat and 2004 tsunami in Indian Ocean, there was discrimination with Dalits delivering humanitarian aid. Some example of this discrimination are having difficulties in getting registered in relief camp. Certain higher caste fishing communities refuse to share emergency shelter with Dalits and refuse to distribute food ration to them. Relief items distributed to them were low quality and distributed less in quantity. They were exploited for garbage removal and disposal of dead animal. The amount of loss suffered by them was estimated on lower side because their ownership was not registered. No one communicated with them to know their requirement and needs. After earthquake, Gujarat government allotted equal amount of compensation and food supplies to all communities. Implementing agency did not ensure that assistance reaches Dalit as well. Dalit and Muslim population did not have the same access to adequate shelter, electricity, running water and other supplies available to upper caste population to whom government had provided far superior shelter and basic amenities. Reconstruction projects were also segregated along caste and religious lines. Houses for Dalits and Muslims were constructed separately. There is no sector in 21st century Republic India in which caste-based discrimination does not exist. This raises a question mark on the claims of 5,000-year-old civilization of India. To the people who ask where is the caste, the studies and survey report discussed in this video, I hope would be enough. Caste is everywhere. It is in the air in India. Jai Bhim.